And we are live.
Hi, great Tuesday. So today, as Emily says, I've been in the kitchen and I have a friend that is going to be joining us. First off, I'm Kathleen Packard, and
And
this is Emily Bolton, and she has been a certified public accountant and a certified tax coach. And we are here this week, especially to help empower the women, the ladies of, entrepreneurs. In Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
hello, welcome.
Thanks.
This is Cynthia Carver, who is joining us today as we move forward with this our half-hour lunchtime here. And Cindy has been a registered nurse for the past 30 years. She's been also married to a doctor. So her whole adult life has been as in the healthcare field. And she took a year off last year to kind of like, what else is possible? And so she kind of rolled that around and pursued something further in her career to open that possibility up. She got an answer and she went with it. And that's what we're all about, is to help show how when we go within, we get answers. If we just ask the questions, the answers will come. So, Cindy, how are you today?
Well, I'm a little frazzled. Not a little. No, my desktop computer, the big screen, just crapped out on me. So I don't know what's going on with it. It just quit. So I'm on this little computer, the little laptop I have, Kathy.
Yeah.
I'm on that. So bear with me. I can hardly see you guys, but anyways, well, here I am.
Oh, great.
You and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So we've got good audio on you, and we got a good visual. So that's fantastic.
Well, I just got back from a walk, so I'm not like coiffed like Kathleen is.
Well, she's a tough one to keep up with. She's been making me step up my game.
I know. She's my go-to person when I've got a bad hair day. Kathy, you need to help me out here. So anyways, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that Kathy invited me to join you guys. I'm not sure what we're doing, but I'm going with the flow.
Awesome. So, Emily, do you have some questions for Cindy?
Yeah, well, again, thank you, Cindy, for joining us.
Sure.
As Kathleen was saying, maybe just before you came on, we've decided to take this week and make it an Empowering Women Week.
Okay.
Recognizing that we oftentimes have maybe some limitations, some self-esteem issues, some self-evaluation issues going on, and we really wanted to be able to, over the course of the week, bring on some women and through their experiences show how they themselves have wondered about the direction of their own life and how perhaps they've made strides to move forward, some successes, and whatever it is that is specific to their lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that our viewers will be greatly helped from that. And I understand that you took a year off because you've been doing some wondering. And so just to hear a little bit about your story and where you see yourself going, I think that will help our viewers.
Oh, good. All right. So are we inviting other people to come in to this little chat room?
They're just watching us.
What?
They're watching us.
Watching? Oh, okay then.
We're live.
Yeah, we are live and it is recorded. We try to have just one guest on and really just interview one person at a time. I don't know, maybe if we get to be really good at this, maybe we can handle more than one. I think Kathleen and I are lucky if we can handle just ourselves sometimes, but we'll try to be gentle with you.
Okay. So let me give you a little background about me. How's that? as Kathleen said, I'm going to call you Kathy because I know you as Kathy.
That's fine.
I'm probably on there as Cynthia. Am I on as Cynthia?
Yep, you are.
I'm Cindy. Okay. So, as Kathy said, I have been a nurse since a bachelor degree nurse since 1982, and before that, I was a licensed practical nurse. So, for all intents and purposes, I've been in the health, medical, wellness field for 30 plus years. As long as I can remember, I was interested in taking care of people, and that's just seemed to be my general direction, even when I was a little girl. Now, I started off doing oncology nursing, so I had a lot of experience with dealing with cancer patients, chemotherapy, radiation. I was a member of hospice care, so I've learned, I really am comfortable with those end-of-life issues. However, and then I moved on to community health nursing, where I was in people's homes and dealing with the whole family. And that seemed to be a better fit for my family life because I have 2 children and I could work kind of a day shift. Then it was medical surgical. I worked in the ER for a little while. Orthopedics a little while. Anyways, I've kind of done the gamut of nursing, the whole thing. And when my kids were of school age, I decided what would be great is to have their schedule entirely. So I went into school nursing. And school nursing offered me the opportunity to work with kids, who I love. I love kids. And to have the perfect schedule. 8 o'clock, 3 o'clock I'm out, and I could go for my walks or my hikes and then be home, cook dinner. I had weekends off, holidays off, summer off. I mean, it was
sounds perfect.
It was perfect. It was perfect. So, and in school nursing, what I did realize, it wasn't just a matter of putting on Band-Aids. I was doing a lot of social work as well and realizing that there's a lot of people out there that aren't as fortunate as many of us, and they need a little more time and attention to address their needs. And so I did a lot of social work and worked with the social worker at school as well. While in school nursing, I also became very involved in the nutritional program at the school, and we actually put together a garden for the school. So that's a passion of mine, is nutrition. And fitness, physical fitness as well. So I did that for 17 years. And after 17 years, I just felt I needed a break. Teachers get these things that are called sabbaticals. And I thought that the school nurse should have a sabbatical. So, but the school board didn't think that wasn't going to fly with them. So I decided that I was going to retire from school nursing, which I did. And the lovely young lady that came into my position last school year, she was a perfect fit. She has 2 young kids and so forth. But she's, as luck would have it, she decided that she needed to go back to full-time work at the hospital because she's recently divorced. She's a single mom. So it really turned out quite well for me. I had a whole year to explore more about me, to explore where I am in my life. I just turned 58, so I really felt like all these years of child rearing and taking care of everybody else, it was time to take care of me and put me first. The kids are out of the house, so I didn't have to, drive them here, there, and everywhere. They're kind of on their own, and they're doing okay. I say okay because you never know. You might get the phone call tomorrow saying, Mom, I've changed my mind. I think I want to move home. I'm always anticipating that things can change. But at any rate, it was a year for me. So I decided I really wanted to go in a direction where nursing is supposed to be. You know, we've kind of lost touch where nursing used to be 30 years ago when I started in the professional arena of nursing, where nurses actually took care of people. Now, it seems like we've kind of lost that way, and where nurses aren't really taking care of people, they're in front of a computer. And so are the doctors, by the way. So there, because of the, not because of the, but in part, alongside of the Affordable Care Act, nurse coaches have become a new path for nurses. And the nurse coach program is the one that I did last year. It took almost 10 months to complete. There's a board certification for school nurses, and not for school nurses, for registered nurses, I'm sorry. And we are the only nurse coaches that are board certified. And board certification is kind of a big deal. It's kind of like the law. When you get out of law school, you take your law, whatever they're called. I've forgotten. What are those law things called? But anyways, the bar exam. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So or the boards. The boards are what physicians take. Anyways, it's a big deal to be board certified. And you know, there's a lot of health and wellness coaches out there. They're on every street corner. There's a nutrition coach. There's a life coach. There's a fitness coach. There's a soccer coach. There's coaches are everywhere.
There's even a certified tax coach. But I'm certified too. So
there's a lot of coaches, right?
Yeah.
So, but in the health wellness field, what is going to be really important for us as integrated nurse coaches is to get out there and educate people about what an integrated nurse coach can offer to folks. And we are the only health wellness coaches that are registered nurses that are board certified. And this is really where the direction of healthcare is going to be going. We're going to be putting the control back to the clients or our patients. We're going to be talking to them about what are their wellness goals or health goals. What do they want to achieve? And how do they feel about health? Those kinds of things. So that's where the nurse coach comes in.
This is kind of taking us right into what we have been asking is, you go within and you ask those questions.
Yeah.
And stand still and let the answers come, because we try to figure out so much on our own and don't really listen to that intuitive part of us as to who we are. And the fact that you took a year off to find out who is Cindy, and what is the next direction that Cindy's life is taken, and that's kind of what we're headed for with this, is to let people know, and especially women, as we were stating yesterday, so many have lost themselves, and they find themselves as either a mom or a teacher or somebody's wife, but their own identity and who they are and what they want to become has been kind of overshadowed. So now we kind of look at it as to, like, what is the next possibility? How can it get any better than this? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, if you just keep asking the question, how can it get any better than this? And wait for the answer. And you were a perfect example of somebody that had taken the time to go inside and get that question answered for themselves, to get the next direction as to where you were going.
It is so important for people to do that. And I am very fortunate where I could afford to take that time off. Um, I really am, and I have a very supportive husband that was supportive about that. Um, but a lot of these ladies that I was working with in the integrated nurse coach program, they were still working full time. So it is possible to find yourself, to find the answers, find out who you are again um, while you're still working. And so I just have been so fascinated by the fact that so many people have lost track of or don't or have forgotten or just ignore the fact that in actuality they are in control of their own health and wellness and that they have the power to make the changes.
It's about
Women, we've kind of given that up. We've kind of thrown it to the wind, and currently we were doing what we need to do to survive, to take care of our kids, to take care of the family, to take care of our mother-in-law or our own mothers or whatever the case is. But it's just so important to get back to who we are and to find out who we are.
And I so agree with that, Cindy, because I think that we lose the individuality and we're asleep to ourselves, if you will. We lose it because we're born into families, we're born into roles, and these are relationship roles. We're all women, so it would be daughters. And then we go from being daughters in our families' homes to oftentimes just always seeking another relationship. So always almost altering ourselves, not necessarily being chameleons, but altering ourselves to fit in because we want to relate so much to these other people. And we don't take that time to be alone. And it's okay to be alone. Alone and lonely are not the same thing. And being alone allows us to really hear ourselves, explore ourselves, wonder who we are. I've taken that time. My husband passed away in '98, and I had 3 little kids at the time. Now, I was blessed in that, I had a large tax practice. I was able to sell it. I was able to stay home, and I had an asset base to be able to support that. So I'm a totally blessed woman here. But in that time frame, people often wondered, why not remarry? Why? For me, I had made a decision, Cindy, Kathleen, that I was going to raise my children, that I have these children, and we're all kind of hurt and distressed over the loss of my husband, over their dad. So it was a time for healing. It was a time for us. But in there, for the first time, because I met my husband at 18, so I went from my father's home, my parents' home, to my husband, and related in that relationship for 20 years. So when was I ever myself or knew myself? So I've taken this time for that, and I'm very comfortable with who I am. I like that, and I have a sense of who I'm going, where I'm going, and a comfort that when I meet this individual, that we're just going to be very comfortable together. We won't have to give up ourselves. We know who we are, and we can go into a really wonderful relationship in that manner. So it looks like you've taken that time after raising kids, after being in the workforce, to find out who you are and where you want to go with your passion for nursing. So I'm kind of really curious where you're going to be taking this coaching.
Well, as luck would have it, the nice young lady that took my position last year, she's going back to work at the hospital, and I've been offered my position back at the school. So at first I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but then I thought, yes, I do. I miss it. I miss the students. I feel I can bring something new and exciting to them in how I relate to the students, how I approach health education because I'm in the classrooms, and also I believe I can be an asset to the teachers on staff. Um, and maybe create some new programs, after-school programs, um, that kind of thing. Bring maybe some yoga and meditation into the school. Maybe bring in a nutritional piece to it. So those are the kinds of things. I have set up a schedule Monday through Thursday. So Fridays I have off, and I have two physician offices. One of them's a naturopathic physician office. It's called Camden Whole Health, that has offered me a place on Fridays if I want to do some coaching with their clients. And I'm also going to be doing coaching at another physician's office. I hope I have to speak with her on Fridays as well. So I'm trying to create a little of both. In the physician's office where people are trying to get health care, and then also in the school where I'm very, I know the job, I know the kids, I know the staff, but I'm going to bring something new and refreshing. So I'm excited about it.
And isn't it funny? I was just listening to that, and you took that year off, thinking that you were going to take another whole path, not
Yeah.
knowing where that might be, and
Right.
you find yourself coming around full circle. But because you listened, it gave you a renewed look out in a fresh perspective to bring back. And knowing you, and I also know that you're not only working in the offline world, but you're also because we're non-company specific, we don't mention any companies here, but that you're also working on your residual income
Mm-hmm.
from that with something that's connected to that healthcare field.
Absolutely.
And to understand that there are many possibilities that are open to women to um, be secure in the fact that not knowing what could happen tomorrow, that they can be independent and they can start building from where they're at right now, um, wherever they are in life. It's never too late. It's never too late to.
No, it's never too late. Never too late. I'm 58 years old. I have a lot of friends that say, "What are you doing? Don't you want to start winding down?" I say, "No, I don't want to do that. I want to just I am a seeker of more information, and I want to stay vital. I want to stay. My next thing as I'm working this year is I'm going for my holistic. See, it's called holistic nursing practice, and that's another board certification, which will include all kinds of the alternative modalities that are out there nowadays, which I'm really excited that they're becoming more mainstream now, which is phenomenal because we have so many things that can help us as women um, to feel better about ourselves, to take care of our health better. All of these things are going to be really beneficial for all of us.
And one of the things that we have a morning mindset call, and we're going through the book Think and Grow Rich. But one of the things is getting that definite purpose, figuring out that definite purpose, and going for it. Just making the decision as the fact of what you're going for. And that's another thing. It sounds like you made a decision and you went for what your heart told you.
Well, that you bring up a really excellent point, Kathy, in that this is something else that I kind of have known, but I really realized it this year. And it's because I did my own self-discovery. My primary focus was about me last year, to figure out my purpose. And I think far too often people get excited about different things that other people around them are doing. And I mean, I see it with my own friends, and they go off, they take a right-hand turn and they go off into a direction which sounded really great to them, into an area that they know nothing about, that really isn't in their best interest. And then they find out, well, no, it wasn't really for them. I think what I've learned, if I've learned anything this past year, which I have, is to stay true to yourself, to use that intuition, what feels comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable with what you're doing, it ain't going to float. You know, it's just not going to work. You have to be really, truly comfortable and believe in your heart that this is your purpose. Even though Joe Schmo over here has got a fabulous idea and wants you to join them on their, you know, their new business or whatever, and you think, oh yes, well, you know, I love to cook, so, and I've always thought about having a restaurant. Okay, yeah, I'm going to invest in that, but you know what? That's not going to work for me. So if people can use what is inside their heart and come from their truth, that is what will work. And I really and truly believe that. I see it all the time, people going off in one direction or the other, that it's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. I've often referred to it over time as following peace. And it's that knowing inside. So again, there's an interior life that's happening, and there's an awareness of self that's there. And it's also an awareness of when we have options before us, you know, because, you know, God gives us life and death, and, you know, we have the blessing or the curse. But whatever the choice, the crossroads that we may be at, is to really step back and sort of scan interiorly, you know, to follow peace. What is truth or what is peace? Now, oftentimes I've found that peace doesn't necessarily mean no struggle. Oftentimes there will be some resistance on the path that really will present you with the greatest peace, and that comes from being true to your interior self, who you know yourself to be, and just the little clues that we have that have come to us throughout the course of our lives. Those are some of the clues that we use to determine what that is. Wouldn't you agree, Cindy?
I absolutely 100% agree. And we have to be open. And, you know, not to bring religion or anything like that into this conversation, but...
Oh, we do.
But we do.
But we're so open to people's beliefs, and we just support people to be where they are. So
I think it's important.
A safe place. It's truly a safe place.
Okay. Well, spiritually, I have a little mantra that I use every morning, and I use it kind of throughout my day. And it's reminding me to be mindful of where I am and to be present. So it's people get, you know, we all know how easy it is to get completely lost and wrapped up in the whirlwind of daily life in today's world. Mm-hmm. But if we can be mindful and to be mindful of who we are and what we're feeling, that's so key. And to hear the greater power, God, whatever you want to call it, the big fluffy man in the sky or the wind through the trees, whatever speaks to you, but to hear the messages and the clues and the signs through other people's words, through a vision you have or a view you see, to be cognizant of when those messages come to you, I think is so key. And if people can tap into that energy, it's a restful place to be.
Yes, yes, and you know, that is a fantastic note to end this hangout. We've had a great lunch time with you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, thank you so much for joining us today, and stay with us here for a few minutes.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, and God bless. We greatly appreciate you joining us today. Have a great day.